My name is Claire, and I'm a veteran of more than 30 years in the power line trade. Every day, I take all the necessary precautions before working around our power lines, because I've seen firsthand what happens when you don't. In this video, I'll share with you how to work safely around power lines, and why it's absolutely crucial that you do. All across Alberta each day, people are hard at work. Foundations are laid, structures are erected. People and their equipment are constantly in motion. Up, down, and from place to place. We know what we need to do to get the job done, but we're going so fast we don't always notice. The danger's hanging just above or lying just below. Each year, hundreds of people needlessly come in contact with power lines in Alberta. Contacting a high voltage power line can extensively damage equipment, property, and the environment. These are the least of your concerns. More importantly, power line contacts can seriously injure or even kill you. Whether or not you survive, the emotional wounds suffered by your loved ones will never quite heal. Julie Hamilton's son died after he and his co-worker contacted an overhead power line.
On July the 9th, 1999, Tim was working for a rental company. He was putting up a big tent. It had 8 center poles so that a corporation could have a private party the next morning. Tim and another young man, John, were asked to go under the canvas and put up the last pole of the tent. The boss said, "We'll stand back here and let you know if you get too close to that power line." Well, the power arced, Tim was killed instantly, and John spent several weeks in the burn unit. When Tim was killed, my life changed totally. I think of him every day. I ache for him every day. Every family holiday, every special day, every ordinary day, we miss him.
Lauren Jackson is lucky to be alive after his power line contact, but life for him will never be the same.
As a grader operator for the MD number 9, I backed my back tandem over the edge of the road, and then I tried to go forward. I kept slipping sideways, and on the third attempt I felt something tug from behind, and I thought, oh boy, I pretty much knew. I contacted a power pole. I knew it was there, and not very long, a few seconds, I looked out to see the front tires. They started just roasting. It scared me to the point of, I thought, well, I'm going to get out of here. I hit the ground, and there's a good chance I maybe stumbled or fell back, or my legs, they just felt like they were on fire. I couldn't believe the pain. A power line contact can do really major damage to your body, just in the blink of an eye. It's horrible. I did have some major issues with my arms, of course, as you can see the damage that's been done here. I had exposed tendons here on my right hand. I had 5 inches of bone on my left arm, totally exposed to the elements. I'm here to tell you it happens, and you don't want it to happen to you.
Could tragedies like these have been prevented? More and more companies are focusing on improving workplace safety, but still more needs to be done to protect the workers around power lines.
Yeah, FortisAlberta came and gave us a power line safety training at the shop there. I think we still see contacts because the guys just get complacent and forget about their surroundings, you know, and towards the end of the day they're getting tired. And I guess one of the first things you should ask yourself is, where's the line?
If you will be parked and operating machinery or equipment within 7 meters of an overhead power line, you must call FortisAlberta or the electrical utility responsible for that power line. This is a requirement under occupational health and safety. If possible, call at least 2 days before beginning your work. The utility will meet you on site to determine the power line voltage and establish the appropriate safe work limits of approach.
So anytime if we're set up on a site and we have to get closer than the 7 meters, we have to get in contact with the local operating authority of the line, and they'll come out and verify the voltage, and if you need to get any closer to it, they can approve that.
Too often, poor job planning will leave workers, equipment, or other materials too close to power lines. While you may think you have enough clearance, unexpected factors like extending equipment parts, raised ground levels, or even the wind can reduce these clearances in a hurry. There are 2 sets of rules when in the vicinity of power lines, and it's critical that the equipment operators know them and can apply them. First, how close they can come to a power line when they are parked and operating, and the steps they must take if they need to work within that zone. And second, the maximum height of any load or vehicle that is allowed to pass under a power line without stopping. The ground around a vehicle touching a power line can become energized. Observers and other workers should stay a minimum of 10 meters away to stay safe. When transporting equipment down any public road or highway in Alberta, there are requirements you must be aware of. If your load is 5.3 meters or higher, you must contact FortisAlberta at 310 Wire or the appropriate electrical operating utility. This will ensure you will be safe from any contact with overhead power lines. Be mindful that once off public roads or highways, the heights of overhead power lines are often lower, and the electrical utility might have to be contacted even if the equipment or load is less than 5.3 meters. A permit is also required from Alberta Infrastructure and Transportation. Provincial government guidelines state that when your equipment or load is higher than 4.15 meters and traveling down any public road or highway, they must be contacted. For further clarification on high load permit requirements, go to travis.gov.ab.ca or call 1-800-662-7138. You must remember that power lines not only exist overhead, but they are underground as well. Contact Alberta One Call before any underground disturbance. This may save your life. If you contact a power line with your vehicle, call for help, stay where you are, and keep others at least 10 meters away from the vehicle. In the event of a contact, it is not just a vehicle, equipment, or object that could be energized. Everything within a 10-meter radius of the contact could also be energized. That's why you have to be aware of both step and touch potential. With step potential, electricity spreads, like ripples or rings, over the surface of the ground away from the point of contact. Each ring carries a different voltage. If you step into one ring while your foot is in another, the electricity will make up the difference in voltage through your body. With touch potential, if someone on the ground touches what is in contact with the power line, electricity will travel through that person's body to get to the ground. If you hit a power line, you can try to break the vehicle free of the contact, but only if it doesn't cause more risk to yourself or others, or more serious damage to the power line. If you can safely brake from the contact, move the vehicle or equipment at least 10 meters away to safety. If you must exit the vehicle, only in the case of a fire, jump away from the equipment with 2 feet together, then bunny hop or shuffle at least 10 meters away from the equipment. Don't take large steps. as there is the potential for electrical current traveling through your body. If you're not sure you're far enough away, slowly move your feet apart. If you feel a tingling sensation in your legs, you are still within the step potential zone and must continue to bunny hop or shuffle away. Fallen power lines can energize things like fences, trees, train tracks, and bodies of water. If you see a line down, do not make contact with it or get closer than 10 meters. Here are some other safety tips to keep in mind. Always be on the lookout for fallen or sagging wires, especially after storms. Never store materials, pile gravel, or leave vehicles parked close to power lines. These can also be inviting to kids who can climb dangerously close to the line. Never spray water at power lines. And be careful when pruning. A wire could be hiding in a tree. While we aim to do the best job possible at work, there is no point doing it if it endangers our lives. Power lines are a potential hazard in any industry, and it's important that workers, before beginning any task, always do a thorough site check. Know where the power lines are and create a plan to work safely around them. And always call if you're not 100% sure. Proper planning and knowing what to do in the event of a contact could save your life. Your safety is FortisAlberta's top priority. Ensure your workers know the hazards associated with working around power lines. To book a free safety presentation for your company, or if you have any questions, call FortisAlberta at 310-WIRE or visit FortisAlberta.com.